Afternoon, and thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Robin Bell, and I am the host of your afternoon podcast. It is Wednesday, January 15th at 4:30 p.m. We're going to get right into our show here. Today we are talking about the continuity and change between our relationship with Britain. So, we're going to take you all the way back to 1909 when the Naval Service Bill was made. So before this, we did not have our own navy as a country. We depended on Britain for any naval support. And at this time, we really wanted autonomy from Britain and we just wanted a little bit of separation and independence. So it was a really big deal for us to make our own navy. Um, this was a political change and it affected us in positive ways and in negative ways. We did get a little bit of independence, and this was a step towards sovereignty from Britain, but this also affected us in negative ways because Laurier told Britain that in the event of a war, our navy would be um, available for Britain's use. And this struck up a lot of controversy with nationalists who were tired of supporting Britain and remaining loyal to them, and they did not want our navy at their disposal. The next element of continuity and change we're going to be talking about is the Statute of Westminster that came into play in 1931. This freed us from the British Constitution, and our own constitution became the main constitution we followed. We were finally free to handle our own foreign affairs, and we no longer had to gain approval from Britain to make new legislation. At the same time as all these changes were going on, there were still things that remained the same. We still modeled our government after Britain, and we still chose to have the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council until about 1949 when we switched to the Supreme Court of Canada. I think this political change affected Canada in mostly positive ways. Um, it helped us develop, and we no longer needed to consult Britain, and we had control over our own legislation, and we matured as a nation. So we are going to carry right along here and get to our last example of continuity and change. We are going to be talking about the constitutional monarch in Canada, which is the Queen. She is represented by the Government General here in Canada. So a while ago, the Government General had to be male, he had to be British, and he had to be English. But in 1950, that all changed when Vincent Massey became the first Canadian-born Government General. This was a big deal, and it was a cultural and political change, and I think for the most part it was positive. It took old British traditions and customs and it mixed them with our Canadian identity, which is equality and multiculturalism and bilingualism. And it was important because they didn't have to be British anymore because we weren't just made up of British settlers. We were our own country. We were Canadians, and there was Canadian citizens now. So now we go from having bilingual government generals to not bilingual. We have francophone government generals and anglophone government generals, and I think it's important to include both and make sure that both are recognized as a part of our heritage. So these were some significant changes and things that stayed the same throughout our relationship with Britain. We are going to be wrapping up our show here. Thank you again so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Robin Bell, and have a good night.